Billy,
What's up,
we
my
are
man?
back to Tuesdays, man. We're on our schedule.
Feels good to be back. Tell you
Let's
what.
kick it off. Let's kick it off, man. Go ahead. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, I was interested in this topic, enjoying the process. I always looked at the 76ers motto for the past few years of trust the process. I really like that saying. And I thought to add a second step to it, not only trust it, but try to enjoy the process of self-improvement. When we do things that we enjoy, our body and our brain respond much better. So why not try to enjoy the things that we're doing to get better?
Certainly. There's I'd say the person that represents this almost, I'd say the best in terms of motivation is Eric Thomas, which we'll get to in a little bit. But what are some of the traps that players fall into, man? What are some of the obstacles that players fall into as far as enjoying the process?
I think a lot of the time, preparing for your season can get pretty mundane. It can get pretty boring for some people. And I think that's where we fall into a trap because, you wake up and you're like, oh, shit, I got to hit the gym today. All right, again, and I'm doing legs today. I hate leg day, and then you get in there and your brain's already responding to that I hate leg day. I don't even really want to be here, but I'm only doing it so it'll help me get better. So once we fall into that trap, it's going to be tough for our body to respond appropriately. Even if, we're working out really hard, your body and your brain are synced up and they're going to respond much better. If we're there with a conscious, 100% presence and 100% intent, and almost like you try to enjoy the pain and the suffering it takes, to get better.
Yeah, let's dive into what you just said a minute ago, as far as the way you represent it to yourself. I like to call it transformational vocabulary, in a sense of the way you Isn't it so interesting that two people can be in the identical situation, and one person says, "Oh man, I love this," and the other person says, "Oh man, this is terrible." Right? So I'll give a perfect example from a fitness perspective. Right? Are you familiar with Steve Cook?
No.
So Steve Cook's a big fitness guy. He's been on the cover of like Sports Illustrated, like an incredible physique, just an elite. He was one of the hosts on what's the show where the overweight people lose a lot of weight?
Biggest Loser?
The Biggest Loser. He was one of the trainers on The Biggest Loser, things like that. But anyways, I was watching Steve Cook yesterday, and it's really interesting. He's taking you through his workout on a vlog style on YouTube, and he says, "I'm going to get a little dessert at the end. I'm going to get some arms in." You know what I mean? But it's just like the way you represent that to yourself. It's like either you can say, "Oh shit, I got to go do some more exercises," or "I'm getting a little dessert in. I'm going to go do some extra."
Right. It's either that, I have to go to the gym or I get to go to the gym. You're blessed to just be able to wake up, hop out of bed, and, be able to drive your car and get to the gym. So you get to go work out. You get to get better. You get to make progress. Not you have to, because you really don't have to. Elite athletes, they enjoy the process of getting better. At times it sucks. It's hard. There's going to be blood, sweat, and tears sometimes, and that's how it goes. But they love that process of getting better. And, if you find it difficult to enjoy that process, maybe becoming an elite athlete isn't for you, and that's totally fine. You can still play sports, play with your friends, do whatever you want in life, and you don't have to, try to be elite at everything you do. But if you do want to become an elite athlete, an elite baseball player, you got to trust that you're going to at least try to enjoy the things that are going to get you there. And it's not just lifting weights. Obviously, it's nutrition, it's sleep. And your body craves that. Your body craves that nourishment through your nutrition and through your sleep, through your sunlight that you get, and through your fitness and your movement.
Here we got a good comment here. It's not win or lose, it's win or learn. Certainly. Always feedback coming in from I'm going to say Mr. Healy, just because that's the way I always known him as.
That's Tom's dad?
Yes.
So Tom is the fourth?
Thomas Healy, yes. But anyways, man, yeah. Without So thank you for that comment. If there is something in the description that says click this link for StreamYard to allow comments, that's just so you show up as an actual person like this. If you don't click that link, you're going to show up as a generic user and we won't know who you are. So if that's in the description, all you got to do is click the link and it'll just show who you actually are. But what are some practical tips for athletes to enjoy the process?
That's a good question. That's a great one. So for athletes specifically, I think it's big to, like I said, to realize that you get the opportunity to make yourself better. You know, some people, athletes, even in, you know, high school and college, you know, they have to work a full-time job. They have to maybe watch their, you know, their brother or sister. So they don't have that time to work on themselves. So realize that you have an opportunity that not many people actually get. So if you look at it more as an opportunity and you get to improve yourself, then you're bound to look at it with more energy, more fervor, more just will to get better rather than I have to do this. You know, you're blessed and you get to do this. You get to play high school baseball. You get to play college basketball or whatever, you know, and a very few percentage of athletes get to make it to that far. So you have to realize how blessed you are to get there.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the approach of looking into the future? You know, you see a lot of people, or you hear a lot of people say, looking back from your deathbed or looking back at the end of your career, you don't want to regret not doing something, or vice versa, doing something else. You know, athletes' windows to compete are very little, and it's difficult to realize that when you're in it. Whether you're in high school, whether you're a little league player, whether you're in high school, whether you're in college, right? Your window closes like very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play elite level sports in your 50s and 60s. I mean, you can get into different age groups and things like that for different events, but for the majority of athletes, that window closes quickly. And
Tom Brady,
except for the TB12 method, I know.
Very impressive what he's able to do at his age.
It really is, and his arm care and things like that, and Tom House and all these other guys. But
yeah,
that's for another discussion.
Yeah,
it's difficult for athletes to understand at times that the window closes quickly, and it's like you get to your senior year in high school, or you get to your senior year in college, and then it's like it hits you quickly, and it hits a lot of athletes quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That, oh shit, this is over in a couple of months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, bringing it back full circle, I just wanted to pick your brain on what you thought about the approach of like looking towards the end of your career and then saying, I don't want to regret anything.
Right. That's a good question. I think it's important to have long-term goals. It's so important to have long-term, mid-term, and short-term goals. So if we look at our long-term goals, you know, they can be specific. They can be, you know, make the varsity baseball team. They can be play college baseball. They can be, you know, make the starting 9, you know, for my high school, college, whatever. It's great to have those long-term goals, but the only way that you can get to those long-term goals is through small steps each day. So I look at it as it's like filling the bathtub. You know, or filling a water jug. We're gonna fill it, you know, a few drops a day, 1 or 2% each day. You know, it's gonna take weeks and months to get us there, but if we, you know, fill that jug a little bit every single day, you know, our long-term goal can, you know, come to fruition because we took the steps each day to fill it up. So I think most importantly, don't get caught up in your long-term goals. It's good to make them, write them down, type them up, whatever. But it's much more important to live in the moment, in this day, have a daily goal. What am I going to do today? I'm going to go to the gym and, you know, get stronger with my lower half. Try to increase my weight on my squats. You know, that's my goal for today. And then we can live each day with more mindfulness and more presence of what am I going to do today to get better to reach my end goal, which is, you know, maybe months away or years even.
Yeah, I think a big piece that is missing from a lot of youth athletes or a lot of amateur athletes is having some evidence procedure along the way. And what do I mean by that? And it's you talk about having these goals, right? Long term, short term, whatever the length of your goals are. That's great, and it's excellent to have goals. But sometimes you make that analogy of a water dropping into a tub, right? And eventually, over time, it's going to fill up. Well, a lot of athletes are impatient. A lot of us are impatient. I'm impatient at times too. And there has to be a sense of patience. And this is something I need to work on as well. There needs to be a sense of patience where you're not seeing the results yet. You're not seeing what you want yet. You're not at that level yet. But there needs to be a level of patience saying, okay, the tub is filling up a little bit at a time. I might not be where I want to be yet. I'm doing all of the necessary steps. I'm doing everything that I think I need to be doing, but I'm not there yet. There needs to be a level of, okay, I'm on the right track. But what I mean by an evidence procedure is, what is telling you that you're moving towards, what tells you if that tub is filling up or not, right? You can draw a line on the tub. You can draw, whatever, pencil, Sharpie, and you can see that it's going up. But how does that relate to what you're doing as an athlete? You need to have some evidence that your tub is filling up. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes and no. That's a good question to dive into as well. I hate being patient. That's something I need to work on as well. That's one of my main things that I think I can better myself is to be more patient, and it's tough. It's very difficult. But I think it goes back to trusting the process. So sometimes you can have, clear outcomes and you can see clear progress, but sometimes you're not really going to see clear progress, especially not right away. Say, for example, if you're coming back from an injury, maybe, and you think you're going to be healed up in a month later, you feel the same way. So you don't really have any results per se, but if you trust the process, know your body's going to heal, know that you're meant to heal and get back on the field, and trust that the universe has everything lined up for you, that's going to help you to continue to try to reach your goals and know that, you're going to improve. Same with getting stronger in the weight room. You're not going to get stronger in a month, maybe a little bit, but barely. It's going to take months and months, years and years to get stronger in the weight room, to get stronger mentally, to improve your nutrition. It takes a long time. So we're not always going to see results, but you have to trust. Just trust in yourself. Trust, if you're religious, trust in God, trust in whatever, that, that you are going to get there, and that, everything's going to come together when it's supposed to. You can't force it, and try not to be impatient and know that it's going to happen for you.
So then your biggest lesson for enjoying the process or understanding the process is to trust in the process itself.
Yes, because everything that's thrown at you is happening for a reason. Why did you go through that injury? Not only to get you stronger physically, to recover from that, your body's going to get stronger, but also maybe mentally you had to go through it just to endure some adversity so you could, strengthen your will and make you more grateful to get back on the field again. That's the biggest thing for me, is just trusting where I'm at and knowing that it's, things are going to work out how they're meant to, no matter what. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't work hard and have goals and do your best every day, because you need to do that in order for things to work out. But you have to trust that, the universe has a plan for you. God has a plan for you, and things are going to happen the way they're supposed to, no matter, what will you're trying to impose, what force you're trying to impose on the universe.
Yeah, James jumps on here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
What can we give to parents? So we talk about patience. We talk about patience and trusting the process. For parents, maybe they want to motivate their kids. They want to encourage their kids to make it to the next level. They want to encourage their kids just to maybe practice more. What do you think is something practical that a parent can do to help keep their kid trusting in the process? I mean, I don't want to talk about spirituality and religion and all of that good stuff, which, that's, I think, is incredibly important, but something maybe outside of that.
That's a good question. Man, you got some bangers today. Well, I think first of all, the athlete, the son, daughter, they have to want to get better. You know, obviously the parent can't force their athlete to practice and they can force them to practice, but they can't really force them to enjoy it and get better. So I'm not sure if this answers your question, but maybe something that they can do is just keep reminding them that, you know, every single step you take towards your goal is going to help. And you might not see progress right away, but you have to trust that it's going to happen. You know, every rep that you take, every swing, every throw, every rep in the weight room is going to take you closer to your goal. And you have to trust in that, you know, with your whole heart and soul, that you're going to improve, even if you're not seeing results right away. So I say just reinforcing the fact that that improvement takes a long time, and, you know, everything that you do is going to help get you better.
James says, yes, the kids need to want it. Certainly. Oftentimes, I mean, Billy, you deal with younger players too, peer pressure. Like they want something maybe behind the scenes, but they might not have the confidence to, you know, pursue it.
Oh, bad.
Amber
Alert.
Amber alert.
Hope the kids are
out here too. But they might not have the confidence to pursue it because, you know, young kids have peer pressure and they want to fit in and all those other things. So yeah, they have to want it, but they also have to have the confidence to, you know, express what they want and go after what they want, regardless of what teammates, coaches, parents are going to say.
Mm-hmm. And I think, yeah, that's a good point. That's why I think it's very important, and it's so helpful when teams like work out together, you know, in the weight room, because the players can push each other. You know, your peers are driven, you know, kids are driven by each other, and they want to get better. They want to do better than their teammates. You know, they want to get stronger than them. But at the same time, it's tough because some kids fall into a trap of just going to work out with my friend because I'm doing it for them, or I want to look cool, or I want to, you know, do it to impress them. But ultimately, to get better, you have to do it only for yourself. But when you're on a team, you also want to do it, you know, for your teammates, because every rep you take is helping your team get one step closer to winning a game or winning a championship, you know, playing together as a team. So I think for athletes to work out together is very beneficial because they push each other. You know, you can compete against each other. This goes for, you know, the weight room. This goes for skill training, everything, even mental training. I think if teams that do it together, you know, stay together and win together.
James says parents need to tell the kids that they love watching them play. It's not said enough.
That's a great point. And that's not only when your kid wins or does well. You know, you have to enjoy, and your kid has to, you know, realize that you enjoy watching them play no matter how they do, because they're trying their best, obviously. So even if they perform poorly, you know, the parent can still let it be known that, you know, I still loved seeing you compete, seeing with you with your teammates, and seeing you have fun, even if you lost.
See, for me, enjoying the process is really based on one huge element. When players say they don't enjoy the process, it's because they're thinking about what's painful in the moment. They're thinking about, oh, this workout's going to suck. Oh, this, you know, I want to eat this crappy food. I want to eat this junk food, even though I should be eating something healthy. Oh, I don't want to go get this extra work in because I'm tired. They're thinking about the pain in the moment, when it's just like you said, having something that they're moving towards, having something that's motivating them. It's like, what's their why? If their why is strong enough, then everything in the process is just fueling that. It's just feeding that why.
Exactly. Your purpose, you know, is one of the most important things you can have. I agree with that.
Healthy competition makes them better, pushes them to be their best. I think, this is just me personally, I think there needs to be some element of competition in every single team activity. I don't mean every single drill, but every single time your team practices, there needs to be some level of competition.
Mm-hmm. And you can make it into a game at the end of practice, you know, divide the team into two. Say the winners don't have to, you know, do 50 push-ups or whatever, and just have that, you know, competing against each other. Then they get practice competing, and then they want to strive to, you know, to outwork their teammates. That's a great idea.
I don't want to get too far off track. Do you think that's one of the biggest challenges that athletes have today, though, is that they don't compete enough or they don't know how to compete?
I think it depends on what age group we're talking about.
Yeah.
For the youth, for 12, 13 and under, I think more instruction, is going to be beneficial for them. Who cares if you win the 9U tournament? I'm looking to get my kid better at that age rather than win more tournaments. There's not going to be any college scouts. Sorry to tell you, parents, at your 9, 10U tournament. Yeah. Even though your coaches and some parents are going to treat it like it's the freaking World Series. But at that age, it's more about instruction. It's more about getting better, learning how to play the game properly, learning how to respect the game, your teammates, yourself, the umpires, the other team. But as they get older, I think more competition is better. It's just how do you put that into practice? During a team function, like how do you actually get that competition level to increase during practice? And that's
parents. I hope we're not attracting this audience for this show, but if you have an Instagram page or a Facebook page of your 8U or 9U player, thinking that you're going to get him a college scholarship because you're running his social media page, you're doing him a huge disservice. You're killing that kid. So please stop. So,
well, think about when the kid sees the Instagram and then he can't live up to what his parents want him to be as he gets older, and then that's causes all sorts of.
We can talk about the there's a whole laundry list of things that's wrong with that, but it happens, man, and it's unfortunate. Kids need to understand that they must get out of their comfort zone. James, that is a awesome point. That is absolute gold. They absolutely 100% need to get out of their comfort zone to improve. James, you've got some great comments today, man.
Yeah, James should get on this freaking podcast with us, dude. But progress is uncomfortable, like almost all the time. It's going to be uncomfortable, and it's not going to be, the most exhilarating thing in the world, but you can make it enjoyable because you know that you are improving. Every rep is taking you one step closer to your goal.
Certainly. Well, Billy, man, these shows go quick. We're coming up on 1 o'clock here, man. What is one big nugget you want to leave everyone with?
I think try to make your training and your progress more fun, whether it's in the weight room, try to get a teammate to go with you, compete against each other. Like you said, Sam, same thing with your practices, maybe have a game at the end where kids are competing against each other. Even for parents, if you're trying to improve, you're trying to make that big business proposal, you got to enjoy that process of getting there and do things that are going to make you happy, which are in turn going to make you healthier, to enjoy, taking that progress to getting to whatever goal that you're trying to achieve. So you got to add some fun and some enjoyment in your work and in your process. Trust and enjoy the process, everybody.
I love it, man. And I'll say one thing that I've lived my life by the past 6 years. The essence of life is growth. So if you're not growing throughout the process every single day, then you're dying. So anyways, Bill, it's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah. Can I add one more thing to that? That's a great point. Yes. So with change in life, things are constantly changing, and that's a good thing. Some people are like, shit, my life is changing. This is so hard. That just means that you're being prepared to step up, and you're being prepared to, level up and, make more of yourself, have a better impact on the world. So change is a good thing. Growth is a good thing. And it's not always enjoyable. Sometimes it sucks, but you need that growth. You need that adversity to get better.
Absolutely, man.
We can make a whole show about that, dude.
We really could.
Maybe we will.
Always, man. Like Goggins loves the pain. But anyways, hope everyone's having an excellent Tuesday. 12:34 every Tuesday. Me and Billy. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace out.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please smash that subscribe button down below and leave your questions in the comment section, because that's the inspiration behind these videos to help serve you guys specifically with what you're struggling with. And if you'd like to take things a step further, Check the links in the description below if you're interested in our coaching, if you're interested in checking me out on other platforms and connecting with me there. If you're interested in some of our other free training, definitely check it out in the description below. And I will see you guys on the next video.